Good afternoon. We are here with County Health Officer Dr. Teresa Frankovich to discuss the online certification process for business safety plans. Dr. Frankovich, can you begin by explaining why the state is planning a gradual reopening of the economy rather than opening every business sector at once?
Sure. So, the main idea of that is even if you construct a really great workplace environment and you social distance and you put all of the protective factors in place, every business we open just adds to the foot traffic and movement of people within the community. And all of that movement contributes to the possibility of exposure and transmission and can potentially elevate our number of cases. So we just want to be able to start, see what's happening with our cases, and move forward as we see how things are going. It's just safer for all of us.
And who determines which businesses can reopen in stage 2?
Well, the governor's order lays out some groundwork, and so within stage 2, we see a variety of things, such as for instance, the businesses that have opened now for curbside are businesses potentially who could open for indoor foot traffic, right? Other businesses that are not structured that way and can open for foot traffic would be included in stage 2. The governor has listed restaurants in stage 2, and some other kind of services such as, landscaping, dog grooming, things like that, some of which we've actually had available already and some of which will be new to the area. So there's a variety of those that are outlined in stage 2.
Thank you. Can you please describe how the county can reopen certain sectors faster than the state as part of the attestation process?
Yeah, so basically what the state has recognized is that not a one-size-fits-all model isn't quite right necessarily across the state, and that some communities are in a different position in terms of cases and hospitalizations and all of that, and may be able to begin opening businesses sooner than our just initial curbside venture. And so this basically what we are able to do as counties is to submit some of our local data and submit our plan for how we have the protections that we have put in place locally, as well as our plans to be able to recognize when we are increasing our case numbers too quickly and slow down our progression through stage 2. And so we really appreciate that. We're planning on submitting that, and when that is posted on the state website is the moment that we're able to begin opening. So we're looking forward to that and hoping that that's as soon as possible.
Thank you. What can business owners and community residents do to support that effort?
Well, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So the folks in our information center, as part of the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, have been really working on developing an online platform for people to use to do this. The state has put out guidances for many sectors, and we'll be adding some additional ones this week. We understand restaurants, for instance, will be added this week for the guidances. So if you go to our website, you're able to pull up the sector that your business falls into. You can see the state guidance for your sector. So all of that information, you can see an online template to just look at the guidance, put in what makes sense for your business in terms of your plan, and then hit submit. And we will evaluate that plan. If there are questions or things we think could be done a little differently, we'll provide feedback. If it looks great, we'll be able to send you sort of a checklist certification that you're able then to post at your business to let the community know that you have sort of met these criteria and are working to protect the safety of your workers as well as your customers coming in. I do want to point out, though, that as people put in these plans, they'll be reviewed. We'll let you know that your plan looks great. It doesn't necessarily mean that your business is the type that's going to open immediately when we begin this movement out of into more fully into stage 2. So, but you'll have that information at your disposal as well.
Okay, and that leads me to my next question, which is, what's the review process like? Who's going to be reviewing these applications?
Sure. So we basically established a team at our Joint Information Center within our Emergency Operations Center. And we have, as part of that team, we have people who do enforcement, code enforcement, people who do business development, and people who are more on the public health end. For instance, some of our registered environmental health specialists may be part of that group to look at specific industries. And so they'll be reviewing your plan. They will understand what the governor's guidance is around those sectors. And then they'll be able to look at it and think, this fits, this is perfect, or be able to look and go, this piece might not be quite right, here's what you can do to fix that.
Okay, thank you. And you touched on this before, but I just want to be very clear. So once the plan is approved, can a business open its doors?
Nope, but we'll give you information about when that is going to happen. So some things will be, you'll be approved and you're good to go, and we'll let you know that. There may be things, for instance, where we're going to open that type of business a little bit later in stage 2. And so we would tell you that as well. So your plan's approved, you're ready to go the minute that we open that sector. And that, I think, will make things quicker for everybody.
Thank you. Why aren't some sectors like campgrounds and other recreational businesses included in early reopenings when they seem to be relatively below risk?
Well, I think that, it's true. And I cannot tell people that, everything is set in stone at this time. We're in constant discussions with the state about what makes sense. Particularly area-based. However, there are some things that go along with campgrounds that can be a problem. For instance, travel. I understand people within our county like to use some campgrounds, but we also have people from outside the county who want to do that. We also know that some campgrounds are structured really well for people to sort of stay in their family units. Some other spaces might not be so easy to do that. So it's not necessarily a given that all of these look the same, and just allowing those all at once makes sense. So, but I can tell people that I'm well aware of the interest in doing that, and I completely get that because I love camping. So we want to make that work for people, and it's our intent to really work on this over the summer, so that sometime in these coming, 2 or 3 months that we have ahead of us, that's going to be doable.
Is there assistance available for those who may be unfamiliar with COVID-19 safety measures as they develop their plan?
Well, again, on our site, we make it really simple. When you pick the sector that you're in, the guidance for your sector will pop up, and you can read through it, and you can actually look at the recommendations there, and if that works for your business, you can just put that in your plan right there.
Perfect. You've touched on this as well, but people in our community are eager to reopen businesses. Mm-hmm. How do you balance the public and economic health of our community?
It's really tough. There's no way around it. Both are really, we really want to protect the public health. We want to get the business sector going and allow people to move more, because we understand the mental health, social needs, as well as economic needs of our community have a big impact on people's health as well. So the best we can do at this time, I think, is to have all of those preventive measures in place, and these masks that everyone is wearing, thank you very much, are part of that. To have these measures in place, and then to have the ability to measure what's happening with the virus in our community, and just walk that line of allowing to open, monitoring the data, slowing things down if we start to see too much activity, and then moving forward again. And it will not necessarily be a smooth process. It may be more of a stepwise process that we actually go through, and with little pauses in there. It's impossible to predict. In the best of all worlds, we sail through and we don't see repercussions, but I suspect there'll be a few bumps along the way.
Thank you, Doctor. Is there anything else you'd like to relay to the community?
Well, I think just one idea is that, when we started all of this, we were thinking, I think all of us thought this is, we'll kind of settle things down and we'll move along, and maybe it's a few weeks or a month and things will change. Obviously, our perception of that has changed now since we've been in this, and we still see areas around the world and in the country struggling with this virus. So I think we all need to understand that while, we're moving forward, that we're going to be doing things differently for some time to come. I don't think everything will look exactly the same to us for, a long time, maybe a couple of years. That's possible. So I think what we're attempting to do is find as much normal as we can in a period that has distinctly been not normal. And all I can say is that we'll walk that line. We'll try and make it as smooth as possible for everyone. And I appreciate everyone's cooperation in doing that, because it really is going to take all of us to make it work as we move forward.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.